What's going on, everyone? So one of the things that I think Scream 5 and 6 got right, obviously I'm somebody that's been very critical. Scream, love Scream, favorite horror franchise, but it's okay to be honest. And Scream 5 and 6 had its flaws, and I really want to see a better product for Scream 7. I think that they have a real opportunity here to give us a very unique style of Scream film with the family dynamic. Obviously, Scream has always been sprinkled with family, but you've never had a husband, wife, and children being targeted by Ghostface. And I think there's a real opportunity there. But with Scream 5 and 6, I really do like the aesthetic and just approach to Ghostface. Right? Historically, Ghostface has always been a little clumsy, a little goofy. Right? That's why like Scary Movie just took it to the extreme because it was funny at times, comical at times, where Scream 5 and 6, Ghostface has just been so much more menacing, so much darker, right? The kills have been not so much playing with your food, but kind of just to the point, right? Think of like Wes and, Judy and Vince and all of these kills. I mean, even Liv, right? Like, I like that approach. I like that element. And particularly Scream 5. I thought Scream 5 did it best. Problem with Scream 6 is nobody died. Outside of the bodega, Annika was the only one that died, right? Like, if you gave me the ghost face from Scream 6 and the kind of tactical version, but with the approach and kills of Scream 5, I think you have the perfect ghost face, right? Somebody that's trained, tactical, right? And doesn't mess around, doesn't play games, gets in, gets out, takes care of business, right? I want, when you see Ghostface on screen, you know whoever it is about to die. Whoever we see next, that's it. It's over. They're done, right? Unless they want to purposely keep them alive, like you saw in Scream 5. They purposely wanted to keep Tara alive, and therefore she survived. But everyone else, it was like, boom, you saw the Ghostface, you knew, this is the end of this character. And I really liked that approach. And I want to see that change. But another big kind of talking point that I want to talk about is, motive and Ghostface in general. And of course, I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions, so please let me know down in the comments. But I really want and like the idea of like an overarching Ghostface storyline, right? That branches into multiple films. This isn't going to be the last film that they do. This film has half success. They're going to have these films. That's why I kept saying, I've talked since they announced Scream 5 and Spyglass and all them spent, like $500 million to go get Scream. Right? Like, there's no way they're stopping at 3. Like, they're going to do as many as they possibly can until the wheels fall off because they got to make their money back and then some, right? They want to be in the green. They want to be profitable. And now you're hearing all these spin-off shows and all that. It's all purposeful, right? So I don't think that this is going to be the last film. There's even been rumors that this will be the beginning of a new trilogy kind of centered around Sydney. Fine, right? But to me, I think you need, if that's the case, you need to have an overarching Ghostface storyline. I don't want it to be the same old. If you want to go the cult route, fine, go the cult route. If you want to go, whatever, like attacking a family route, fine, whatever. However you want to approach it, I'm game, I'm okay for. But you need to make sure that it's not, I don't want the same Ghostface. Right? I don't want it to be her daughter or the babysitter or any, like, use them as red herrings. If you want to kind of be creative, sure. But can we get something where you have just a group of Ghostface, however many, and they're menacing, they're dark, they're brutal. There's no real rhyme or reason, right? Maybe we don't even find out what the deal is in this episode or in this film, right? I'm okay with a cliffhanger. Some people, every time I talk about like cliffhanger, people seem to be kind of one way or the other. People either like, yes, please, let's get that. Or they're like, nah, I like the conclusion, which I get. Kind of get the full circle, everything concludes, and you can still kind of tell the story. You can do both, right? Like you could do something where, you have the initial story that sets up and establishes what's going to happen going forward, but this iteration of Ghostface, you kind of get the conclusion of, and then that branches into a Ghostface maybe being revealed at the end, right? Like what they wanted to do at the end of Scream 2. At the end of Scream 2, when Sydney's walking through the courtyard, where that bell tower is, where you end up, spanning up to, originally there was supposed to be a Ghostface in that bell tower, right? If you did something like that, I think it's fine. We know another film is coming. Scream fans are going to be excited. But not just another film is coming, but now and you could establish the overall story. And we kind of have an idea of what to expect in the next film, right? Obviously, there'll be its twists and turns and who's the Ghostface. And you can still maintain the Scream elements. You can still maintain what you want Scream to be. Like, because you don't want to, like, it has a formula, a very simple formula, right? And you don't want to break that. You want to kind of keep that intact, keep that in order. But there's certain things that you can kind of branch into and go different directions, right? Like, as long as you're not getting crazy and carried away. Like, I don't want some supernatural ghost face or anything. Keep it simple in a lot of ways. But I like the idea of, instead of it being, just the run-of-the-mill Scream movie, they're targeting Sydney, and then at the end, it's like, oh, you have no idea what's coming for you, Sydney. Like, this is just the beginning, right? Like, oh, you thought we were bad, just wait. And kind of set up that, Thanos level threat almost, right? And kind of have that, like, more killers are out there, more, and they've already established that, right? Like, Scream 5 and 6 established the Dreaded thread, Jason and Greg following Richie's plan. Richie found Amber on it, right? You have Kirby. I don't know why I blanked on that for a moment, but you have Kirby, who she even established that there's Ghostface all over that are killing people, right? And that's what they kind of want to do, the spinoff show about her, like this true crime, like she's going after, buddy cop type Scream movie. Great, perfect. Let's do that, right? You already have the blueprint. You already have the formula, the very simple formula that you set up and established, right? Like, follow that. Follow those breadcrumbs. Give us something unique. I don't even, personally, I know some people do. I know some people are like, no, you have to have a motive. You have to have a reason. I don't really care about that. There's no explaining crazy. Like, I've talked about it before. My favorite line in a movie, period, really, arguably, is in The Strangers, when they're like, why are you doing this? Because you were home, right? It's like, I love that. That is terrifying, right? Like, there is no rhyme or reason. There is no explanation. There is no, sunshines and rainbows. No, it's just, they're crazy. Like Mickey. It's one of the reasons I love Mickey so much. It's just so unfortunate the way that they approached his character. How he, like, disappeared and, like, wasn't in the film for 90% of it. But Mickey had the potential to be the best killer we had. The aesthetic, the size, the strength, all of it. But even then, you had the motive. It was so crazy and weird. It was like, come on. I mean, so much so, even Mrs. Loomis was like, did you hear that? Like, that's crazy. But that's the point. Anybody that's willing to kill and do all this stuff, they're crazy. There's no explanation. There's no real reason. Think of, like, real life. Every serial killer, they have no real reason. It's always some crazy, whatever. I was told to do it, or the voices in my head, or whatever. Right? Like, to me, keep it that way. Right? You don't need to do something crazy. However many Ghostface you want, 1, 2, 5. Like, obviously, you don't want to get too crazy, too carried away, because you don't want to reach the point where film starts getting convoluted and you got all these Ghostface. But you can kind of pace it out, right, and approach it in a reasonable manner. But the point is, like, I think you have an opportunity here. I think you have the potential here to give us, like I mentioned, the best Scream film that we've ever gotten. I don't think anything will beat 96, personally. That's just me. I don't think you'll ever be able to surpass that. It's because that, built the franchise, laid the foundation, and it was about as close to a perfect movie as possible, right? Like, that movie was fantastic. But I do think that you have a potential here to potentially give us the best sequel we've ever had. And that could go a very long way. That could be very significant for just Scream and going forward, right? You have potential to have a very unique, different style of Ghostface. You have a very unique style of just the family dynamic with Sydney and the children and all that. I think that there's a lot of things that you can really use as a new direction, new foundation to move forward to. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with my points? Do you disagree with my points? You kind of mixed in the middle? Do you think, like, yeah, like, to some degree, do you have, like, any specific ideas or thoughts in your head? Again, whatever you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it either way, so let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.